what are the conditions, the guidelines to deal with the opposite gender when there is a necessity. You lower your gaze, there is no seclusion, you're never alone with that opposite gender, and there's no flirting or socializing or chit-chatting. So straight to the point. When you meet an air hostess, excuse me, can I have a cup of coffee? Full stop. You don't flirt. MashaAllah, the coffee you make is so beautiful. I don't know if it needs even sweeteners or not. It's just sufficient that you brought it. Hey, what are you doing? I'm being kind, I'm being diplomatic. No, you're being flirtatious. And this is haram. You have to go to the point. Don't smile, don't laugh, don't crack a joke. Be as serious as possible. Lower your gaze, never be in seclusion, and never communicate unless there is a necessity for that. And Allah Azza wa Jalla knows better.
At what age is it permitted for a male child to see a woman's face? For a woman to take care of that male child and to socialize with him or touch him?
From the opposite gender, you mean? Yani what age is a woman allowed to sit in front of a boy who's a non-mahram and uncover her face, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So there isn't a specific age. All scholars agree that if a boy reaches the age of puberty, he's a man. So everything goes for him as a man. Not mixing, not looking at women, and not being alone with them. And if a woman believes that her face must be covered, then she must cover her face. And if the child is 7 or below, they all agree that there is no awrah to be covered from him, in the sense that she is entitled to sit in front of him like she sits in front of her brother, her father, her uncles. Not that she's naked, but she's wearing normal clothes with her hair open, face, etc. Now, when the child reaches an age, most likely it's about 10. This is when their knowledge, their way of perceiving things and looking at things differ. So at the age of 10 and above, generally speaking, not all children, not all boys, they start comparing, they start admiring, and they would recognize when a girl or a woman is a bombshell and when she's not. And they would look at points of attraction, if we can say that, in a woman. This is when a woman should cover. But she should cover her full body, and she can keep her face and hands out, because still the child has not reached the age of puberty. When the child is like 11 and a half, 12 or 13 years of age, this is approximating the age of puberty, then she should cover totally from him, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. A lot of the Muslims have doubts in this. He says we have to connect our kinship and to maintain them. But what about the opposite gender? So this means that we have an instruction to maintain our kinship, and we have a prohibition and a restriction in free mixing and socializing with the opposite gender who are not our mahram. So this always prevails. The scholars say whenever we have something that gives the green light and something that gives the red light, we always give preference to the red light, which is al-hadr, al-man', restriction and prohibition always comes first rather than the permission. So in our case, when I have my uncle's wife, so my uncle is my relationship, he's my blood, he's my kinship, his wife is not. Not only that, she's not mahram. Then I can have no contact with her. Okay, what about my uncle's daughter? He's the brother of my father, he's my uncle, my paternal uncle, or my maternal uncle, and their daughters are my cousins, but they're non-mahram. So I must not have any communication, socializing, or mixing with them.
So how would I connect my kinship? You do that remotely, in the sense that if they're married, if they have children, and they are in need of money, they're poor, you give money to your wife to give it to her, or you give money to your mom to give it to her, or you give it to your father to give it to her. But you don't have non-mahram relationship. This is not permissible. But to go and check on them, or to be on a WhatsApp group and joke and socialize, this is totally prohibited in Islam.
Is it forbidden in our deen to talk with fiancé? Mahmoud, the opposite gender, either they are halal for you to talk to, or they are haram. What do you mean? Either they are mahrams. So your wife is a mahram. You have a contract. So you cannot only talk to her, you can do the whole 9 yards. Or you can never marry in your entire life, such as your mom, your sis, your daughter, your aunt, paternal, maternal, your nieces, etc. So these are all mahram. You can talk freely. The other side is the non-mahrams, whom you are entitled to marry, which is any woman who's not married, who is not your mahram, you can marry her. So your fiancé, is she your wife? Nope. Is she your mahram? Nope. Then you cannot talk to her, except at a specific time where Allah made a window for a potential suitor to talk to the woman he wants to get married to. What is that window? This window is when you want to go and have this interview where you both exchange glances, not necessarily in the dark, but look at one another with your with her mahram being present, her father, and you can sit for a whole hour, talk to her, look at her, exchange questions, and if there's chemistry after this 1 hour or 1.5 hour interview, you give the green light, she gives the green light, let's go and get married a month or two later on, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. A sister says, my daughter is 5.5 years old and the school is about 10 minutes drive. My father-in-law, the grandfather of this child, takes her to school, but it creates miscommunication. I'm not at ease with it. I want my husband to do something about it. Sometimes he also is not available. So when my father-in-law is not available, can I drop my daughter to school and come back with the driver while my 3.5-year-old son is with me? So basically her question is about being in a car with a strange man, an non-mahram, a driver, and no one to break the seclusion except the 3.5 years old child. The Prophet said, alayhi salam, whenever a man is alone in seclusion with a woman who's a non-mahram, the third person with them is Satan. And what do you expect Satan would do? Tell the man to teach the woman Quran, or to tell her to fear Allah Azza wa Jal and to remember her grave and the hellfire? No. He would do anything that is heinous rather than anything that is beneficial. So the Prophet is telling us, alayhi salatu wasalam, that this is totally prohibited for a man to be alone in seclusion with a non-mahram woman. But if there is a third person with them, then this would break the seclusion. So if there was another man, if there was another woman, then there is no seclusion. What about the 3.5-year-old child? Scholars say that such a child would not understand what's going around him or her. So if the driver is trying to seduce the woman, or the woman is trying to seduce or flirt with the driver, the child would not have any influence or any power to distinguish what they are saying or doing, and hence his presence and absence are equal. Therefore, it is not permissible for you to drop your child with the driver under these circumstances, and you have to try your level best to fix what's between you and your father-in-law. At the end of the day, he is the grandfather of your child, and he's the father of your husband. If you're not at good terms with him, this would definitely negatively impact your relationship with your husband and the rest of the family, and this is not a healthy thing to do.